Hello everyone. In the previous session, I have explained about the concept called AC through pure resistance circuit, AC through pure inductive circuit, AC through pure capacitive circuit, and AC through the combination, that is series combination of RL circuit, AC through series combination of RC circuit. So next we shall see the combination, that is AC through series RLC circuit. Okay, as I have already indicated in the first class of this AC circuit, so we have got these many circuits. So we have to analyze these many circuits. So pure R, pure L, pure C, and combination of RL, combination of RC, and finally combination of RLC. So in this circuit, you can see the circuit consisting of resistance R in ohms and inductance L in Henry and capacitance C in Faradays. Okay, so connected in series across the applied voltage V. So where we can represent it as Vm sin omega t. Since it is alternating quantity, so we can represent it as Vm sin omega t. So of course here, so the circuit draws a current of I. So when the circuit draws a current of I, so there will be a voltage drop across each element. So that means voltage drop across R, we represent it as VR, and so voltage drop across inductance, so let us consider VL, and so we have one more voltage drop across capacitance, let us call it as VC. Okay, so we have three voltage drop across three elements, that is R, L, C. And so finally to analyze, so next to analyze this circuit, so here we know that the total voltage is equal to the summation of voltage drop across each element. So V can be written as, it is a summation of VR, VL and VC. Okay, so voltage drop across R, voltage drop across inductance, voltage drop across capacitance. Okay, summation of all three can be equated to total voltage or the applied voltage. So of course we represented this in the form of vector. Let us call this equation as 1. So next we need to write the phasor diagram. So this phasor diagram of equation 1 depends on the condition of VL and VC. So remember, phasor diagram of equation 1 depends on the condition of VL and VC. Of course the VL and VC depends on the values of XL and XC. Okay, depends on the value of XL and XC. So based on the values of this XL and XC, we are going to have three different conditions or three different cases. In the first case, we shall see in the first case, so what happens when XL is greater than XC? Because here writing the phasor diagram is very important. So based on equation 1, so to analyze or to write the phasor diagram, first we need to analyze three different cases. That means, so the values of this XL and XC. So in the first case, so we shall see what happens when XL is greater than XC. So XL greater than XC is nothing but what? Again, so I into, because since the same current flows through both inductor and capacitor, so I into XL is greater than I into XC. And then, so what is I into XL? Which is nothing but VL. So VL greater than VC. So now based on this condition, so we are going to have phasor diagram. So initially to start with the phasor diagram, so we are going to have current I, because since the same current flows through all the three elements, so we are going to have current as a reference one. And so here you know that VR exist in the same line. So both are in same phase. Both the current and voltage drop across resistance are in same phase. And so already, as we have already studied in the previous concept, so VL. So you know that current lags behind VL and current leads Vc. Okay, so what is VL and Vc? VL is the voltage drop across inductor and Vc is voltage drop across capacitor. So here, so you know why I have taken this one as a lengthy one and this one a short one, because VL is greater than Vc, and so the resultant of VL and Vc will be directed towards, so I'll repeat, the resultant of VL and Vc will be directed towards VL, will be directed towards VL because VL is greater than Vc, and I so lags behind VL minus Vc. So here, so just to take an example, here if I just consider this as a 5 volts and this one as, that is Vc as 2 volts, 2 volts. So VL minus Vc, that means 5 minus 2, so we get 3 volts. So can't we have that 3 volt difference at this particular point? So which can be written as VL minus Vc. So as I have already indicated, so resultant of VL and Vc will be directed towards VL, and this current lags behind VL minus Vc. Now, so we know where is this VR and we know the term which is VL minus Vc. So now this will be treated as VL minus Vc. So now what is the resultant of VR and VL minus Vc? What is the resultant of VR and VL minus Vc? So that is resultant one is V. So here we are going to have V, and if I just consider this part as VL minus Vc, because this portion and this portion both are same. So this is VL minus Vc, this is V and this is VR. So we have got voltage triangle. So this portion is VL minus Vc and this is V, this is VR. Now based on the voltage triangle, we are going to have equation as V is equal to so square root of VR square plus VL minus Vc whole square. And now you can just expand this equation, that is I square into R square or IR whole square plus, and what is this VL, I into XL minus I into XC whole square. So here I square into R square plus, so I am taking here this as I square common, X minus XL minus XC whole square. Okay, so in the further expression, so you can take I common from this equation, so we get this as I into, so square root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square, right? So finally we can have equation that is V is equal to I into so square root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Okay, so after this equation we can have V expression as V is equal to I into Z. So this is what even we have derived in the previous concept, that is AC through series combination of RL circuit and RC circuit. So V is equal to I into Z, where Z is equal to so square root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Okay, so in this way we can represent impedance, which is Z, and so phi can be represented as tan inverse of XL minus XC divided by R. So these are the terms we can have from this particular condition, and at the same time I equation can be rewritten as I is equal to Im sin omega t minus phi. So why it is minus phi? Because the current lags behind VL minus Vc. So in this particular condition, so we have discussed only one condition, that is, so what happens when XL is greater than XC. So similarly, so we are going to analyze two more conditions or two more cases, that is XL is less than XC or XC greater than XL, and what happens when both are same. So in the second case, as I have already told you, so in the second case we are going to analyze XC greater than XL. XC greater than XL. So XC greater than XL means, so I into XC greater than I into XL, or we can have this as VC greater than VL. Okay. So as I have already indicated, the phasor diagram of this equation 1. So equation 1 was V is equal to VR plus VL plus VC. So phasor diagram of this particular equation depends on the condition of VL and VC. Of course, it depends on the values of XL and XC. And so from this equation, so now we are going to have the phasor diagram. So in the phasor diagram, so we know that again the current comes at this point, and so here in the same line, so VR exists, and here again VL. So remember always, so VL comes in this direction, and here we have VC. Here we have VC. So again VC is greater than, remember we have the condition that is VC greater than VL. So VC is greater than VL, and as I have already indicated, the resultant of this VC and VL will be directed towards VC. So the resultant of VC and VL will be directed towards the direction of VC. So now we can have this portion as VC minus VL. So earlier it was, in the earlier case it was VL minus VC, but in this case, since VC is greater than VL, so we have taken the condition VC minus VL in this direction. And where is the resultant one? The resultant voltage is here, that is V. Now, so we can have this portion as, so this is VR and this is V, and this portion, since this portion is same as this portion, so we can have this is VC minus VL. So let me rewrite the triangle, voltage triangle here. So this becomes VC minus VL, and this is VR, and this is V. So now based on the voltage triangle, so we are going to have the equation as V is equal to so square root of VR square plus VC minus VL whole square. And so let us expand this equation, which is I into R whole square plus, so I into XC minus I into XL whole square. So take I common from here, so it is square root of I square into R square plus XC minus XL whole square. And so we can have the equation as I into so square root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square. And finally we can have this equation as V is equal to I into Z, where Z is the impedance. And so Z is nothing but what? So Z is equal to, so square root of the magnitude of Z is equal to square root of R square plus XC minus, so XC minus XL whole square. So this is the equation of impedance, that is when XC is greater than XL, and similarly phi can be represented as tan inverse of XC minus XL divided by R. Okay, then so how do we write current equation here? Since the current leads, I is equal to Im sin omega t plus phi. So this is the current equation for the condition XC greater than XL. In the third case, so we shall see one more condition, that is XL is equal to XC. So we can have XL minus XC is equal to 0. So we can have another term as XL minus XC is equal to 0, that is when both are same, or VL is equal to VC, or VL is equal to VC. Now based on this condition, so we can have the phasor diagram as, now we shall have I, so You note that again. So VR exists in the same line. Since both are same, both VL is equal to VC or VC is equal to VL, or VL minus VC is equal to 0. So we are not going to have any term even in this direction and in this direction. So you know that VR exists in the same line of I, and so here we can have VL and so this is VC. So both are same, both the lines are same here, or both the voltages are same. So since both the voltages are same here, so we cannot have any value over here because VL minus VC is equal to 0. Since this term becomes 0, we are going to have only VR. We are going to have only VR. So then how do we write equation? V is equal to only VR, because this VR and VC, so do not come into the picture. Okay, so now what is V? V is equal to I into R, and finally, so this equation can be equated to V is equal to I into Z, where Z is equal to R. So remember, directly we can write Z is equal to R in this particular case, that is in the case of XL is equal to XC. So what about the phi then? So phi becomes, angle becomes 0. And what about the current expression? I is equal to, since the angle is 0, I can be written as I is equal to Im sin omega t, where V is equal to Vm sin omega t. So there is no phase difference, angle difference between current and voltage. We have power in series RLC circuit. So here average power can be defined in the form of, that is average power consumed by R plus L plus C elements. So average power consumed by R plus L plus C elements, and since the power consumed at this L and C is 0, that means power, so it will not consume any power. Okay, so since there is no power or power consumption in L and C circuit, so finally average power is equal to power consumed by only R. So we can have I into VR. So remember, since the L and C circuit elements does not consume any power, finally we can have average power as power is equal to average power consumed by only R. So which can be written as I into VR. So average power can be written as I into, where VR is equal to V cos phi. So remember, VR can be written as V cos phi, and substitute here we get, so average power is equal to IV cos phi or VI cos phi, that is in terms of watts. Unit of power is watts. So next we have a concept called AC parallel circuit. So AC parallel circuit, a circuit which consists of more than, so two impedances connected in parallel across the applied voltage is nothing but AC parallel circuit. Okay, so let me repeat, the circuit consisting of more than one impedances connected in parallel across the applied voltage V. So this we call it as AC parallel circuit. This impedance may consist of the combination of RL, combination of RC, combination of RLC, and sometimes it can have only resistance, only inductance, or only capacitance. So already we have discussed about the impedance, and when these impedances are connected in parallel, so across the applied voltage we call it as AC parallel circuit. And so you know that this element, so you know that these impedances draws a current of I, and so since these two are connected in parallel, so we can have this current as, because the current gets divided, the total current gets divided over here, so we call this as I1 and this as I2. And by applying KCL, that is Kirchhoff's current law, we can have the equation as I is equal to I1 plus I2. So what is I1 now? I1 is equal to, which is V divided by Z1 plus V divided by Z2. And this can be written as, so take V common and we get 1 divided by Z1 plus 1 divided by Z2. Or or else we can write this as I is equal to V divided by Z equivalent. So the similar type of circuit we have already discussed in DC circuit, but instead of impedance, so we have discussed in terms of resistance. So I is equal to V divided by Z equivalent, and where 1 by Z equivalent can be written as 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2, or 1 by Z equivalent is equal to, it is Z1 Z2. So it is in the numerator we have Z1 plus Z2. So this is nothing but 1 by Z equivalent. So in this form we can analyze or we can calculate the values of either voltage or current, okay, in terms of this equation. And so we can also have, or we can also apply current divider rule here. So we can also analyze current divider rule. So current divider rule says that I1 is equal to, so we have total current I into, so Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. So now you can just recall current divider rule, which I have already explained in DC circuit, that is in terms of resistance. But here instead of resistance, so we are going to use here as impedance. So I1 is equal to I into Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. So this is one equation, and similarly we can have another equation which is I2 is equal to total current I into Z1 divided by Z1 plus Z2. Okay, so in this way we can analyze AC parallel circuit. So in the same circuit, that is in AC parallel circuit, so we have another concept called admittance. So admittance is defined as the reciprocal of impedance. So remember admittance, and which we can denote as Y, and which is the reciprocal of impedance, and the unit of impedance is ohms. And unit of this Y is mho, or the concept of this admittance, okay, it can be represented as Y, and which is the reciprocal of Z. Since the unit of Z or the impedance is ohm, so the unit of admittance is mho, or we also call it as Siemens. So you just look at the unit here, so which is the reciprocal of ohm. And so to analyze this particular circuit, so already we know that I is equal to I1 plus I2, where I1 is equal to V by Z1 plus V by Z2. Okay, I2 is equal to V by Z2, which is equal to I, and I is equal. So what is 1 by Z1? 1 by Z1, I can write it as Y1. So I can write this as V into Y1 plus V into Y2. Okay, so we can have this expression, and I is equal to, so take V common here, and this becomes Y1 plus Y2. So we can have I is equal to V into Y equivalent. Okay, so Y equivalent. So what is Y equivalent? Y equivalent is equal to Y1 plus Y2. Right? So similarly, the same circuit can be reduced as, so Y1 and Y2. Okay, since we write this Y equivalent as Y1 plus Y2, the same parallel circuit can be rewritten in this form. So Y1, which is connected in series with Y2. Okay, in this way we can analyze. So in this way we can analyze the concept of admittance, okay, in AC parallel circuit. Thank you.